Hey, Matt Morris here, leadwithmatt.com. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about intelligence and hopefully put a new idea in your mind, a new premise, a new belief. We'll talk about that here shortly. I'm going to kind of give you my strategy on increasing intelligence. So as you guys hop on, let me know where you are tuning in from. Give me your city, state, country. If you're watching this live, drop me a live in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, drop me a replay. And if you're seeing me for the first time, drop me a 1 in the comments so we can welcome you. If you do share this, let me know you shared it so I can give you a shout out. Looks like we've got some folks coming in from, there we go, Romania, Janisha. Thank you for the share already. I haven't even said anything yet. All right, thank you for all the hearts and the thumbs up. I appreciate that. So listen, what I want to talk about is intelligence. And I'll just ask you, do you have a specific plan to increase your intelligence? Because if you do not have a specific plan to increase your intelligence, you are committed by your actions to remaining exactly the same as you are now. And my belief is if you stay the same, you're actually declining, because we are always we are creatures of growth. We're designed to grow. And if you are not growing, if you're staying stagnant, you're actually moving backwards. And the people around you, hopefully, are moving forward. So what's the plan? Now, I want to talk a little bit about intelligence in general, because I will give you my belief as it relates to intelligence was that intelligence was your IQ. So whatever level of intelligence that you were born with, that was going to be basically how intelligent you are the rest of your life. And I was going through many years ago, going through this program and actually talking to the author about the characteristics of leadership. And what this author had done is he had gone back over the last 100 years. The last 100 years, and he looked at the top leadership trainers. People like John Maxwell would be an example. In our day and age, John Maxwell is probably the #1 person that we think about, especially in the entrepreneurial world, that trains on leadership, okay? And what he said was he went back over the last 100 years and all the people who are training on leadership, the gurus, what are the 5 character traits that all of the gurus said are the most powerful character traits as it relates to leadership? And so there were some things like sociability, there was desire, ambition, handful of others, and one was intelligence. And when I saw that, I kind of discounted it, because what I had always taught and had been taught, or what I always teach and had been taught, was that it doesn't matter how smart you are, you can become a great leader even if you have a very low IQ. If you did really bad in school, you can become an amazing leader. And there's lots and lots of examples of that, okay? So I kind of discounted it. And as I dug into it a little bit more, what I realized is intelligence is not necessarily your IQ. Your intelligence is your capacity to learn. So capacity to learn, okay? So what's interesting is your mind, your intelligence, your capacity to learn actually increases based on how you use it. So with a muscle, as an example, so flexing here. So your muscle here will grow the more you use it. Your mind will grow the more you use it. If you don't use your muscle, it will not grow. It stays stagnant. In fact, it will atrophy. Your mind, just like a muscle, will atrophy if you do not use it. It's why we must exercise the muscle in our mind, otherwise it atrophies and it goes backwards. Now, what happens with the mind, just like in a muscle, as you work it, as you learn more and push yourself to learn more, guess what happens? Your mind expands its capacity to learn. It becomes easier to learn more and more things because you're working that muscle. And so if you want to be a great leader, you need to build a very strong level of intelligence, is my belief. I adopted those character traits to become true. If the greatest leadership gurus over the last 100 years have said intelligence is a key factor, then I think there's definitely some merit to that. And so if that's all true, then we need to kind of take a look at, number one, what we believe about intelligence. And I will tell you one that I adopted. One of my beliefs in everything that we do, whether it's your physical body is going to be really fit or stagnant or diseased or whatever it may be based on your beliefs. Now, you may have a belief that you can eat sugar, loads of sugar every day, and you'll be fine. That's a very unhealthy belief. You could believe that genetically you're predisposed to have heart disease and you're just going to have it. And if that's your belief, then guess what? You're more than likely that's going to become true, because what tends to happen is you end up eating bad foods, things that contribute to heart disease. You say, oh, you know what? It's my genetics. Forget it. I'm just going to have heart disease. And that will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay. So your beliefs really determine things, determine your success. And we talked about that on a previous video. Okay. So here's my belief. My belief is this, is that every single human has the ability to become an intellectual genius, because the mind has an infinite capacity to learn. So that is my belief. My belief is that I can become an incredible genius. You can become an incredible genius. I don't care what level you're at. I don't care if you never got through elementary school, primary school. Let's say you never got through that. You can become an incredible genius, because the mind has an infinite capacity to learn if you will simply work it. Okay. One of my other beliefs as it relates to my mind is the best investment I could possibly make is the investment into my mind. You know, I think it was Ben Franklin that said many, many years ago, if you empty your wallet into your mind will fill up your wallet. See, you can take everything I have, all my money, you can take my homes, you can take my cars, you can take all of that, leave me my mind, I'll get it all back. Okay. So it's an abundance mentality, because I've invested so heavily in my mind for so many years. I've expanded my capacity to learn. So that's my belief about money. So why am I doing this? Well, why am I always expanding my capacity? Well, I want to be intelligent in every category of life. I don't just want to be physically fit. I don't just want to have an amazing career. I don't just want to be a great dad. I don't just want to have a lot of money. I don't just want to have a lot of adventure in my life. I want to have everything. And if I believe that every person can become an incredible genius, that means they can become an incredible genius in as many categories as they want. And so that's what I strive for. And it's one of the reasons why I have an insatiable thirst for knowledge. It's why I'm always growing, always getting better, is because I desire that. What does it give me? Well, it gives me a lot of things. It gives me emotional freedom. It gives me happiness. It gives me tons and tons. I mean, I could go over and over and over and over on all of the things that it gives you based on being intelligent in all these areas. So what is your strategy? Do you have a specific strategy for increasing your intelligence, knowing that your intelligence is what is going to give you success in many areas? Now, if you are, let's see, what's the opposite of intelligent? We'll just call it stupid. I don't know what it is. If you're stupid as it relates to health, more than likely you're going to be unhealthy. If you are stupid as it relates to health and fitness, you're more than likely not going to have a very good body. If you're stupid as it relates to business, you're probably not going to have a lot of money. Okay. If you're stupid in relationships, you're probably not going to have great relationships. If you're stupid when it comes to parenting, you're probably not going to have the best relationships with your kid. So success equals being highly intelligent. So what is your plan? And if you don't have a plan, if you're not committed to growing, you're committed to staying the same, which basically means you're committed to atrophying, Okay, so this is why it's important. And I know I'm speaking to the choir. You're watching my training now. You may be those of you, many of you who watch all the trainings that I do. Okay, so what are your strategies? I'll tell you mine. One is working on my intelligence, my intellectual life, an hour a day. So at least an hour a day, I'm reading a book, I'm watching videos, I'm listening to podcasts. When I'm at the gym, when I'm doing cardio, a lot of times I'm listening to a podcast so I can grow my mind while I'm growing my body. So it's 1 hour a day. And it's not like you can take an hour away from other things, or you can multitask. So as you're driving to work or driving to your office, you can be listening to a podcast instead of listening to the radio and growing yourself. So many people make excuses saying, I don't have the time to do an hour a day. Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of dead time. You're using the bathroom every day. You are commuting. You are working out. There's definitely an hour that you can squeeze in a day. That's a belief of mine, and allows me to actually accomplish my goal, my strategy of learning, having that input for an hour a day. Now, you may need to discipline yourself. You may need to carry a book with you and keep it with you all the time. Now, some people are like, well, I don't want to carry around a big book. A strategy that I heard someone say, I don't like to do this because I love books and I cherish books. But if you know you need to read 10, 15 pages a day, take a book and tear out 10 pages, maybe buy 2 books and tear out 10 pages, keep them in your pocket or in your purse. And when you're using the bathroom or you have dead time, you're at a restaurant, you're waiting for your meal, pull out the pages and read the pages. You can make this happen if you're creative about it. So that's one of my strategies. It's 1 hour a day. Okay. Input. Also, 1 hour of output. So what am I doing right now? I am outputting my intelligence, because here's what happens. When you train on something you have learned, it locks it into your brain to a much higher degree than if you hadn't trained on it. So part of the strategy that I should have told you is learning an hour a day as if you're going to be required to train on the information that you just learned. So it's an accelerated learning strategy where if you're reading a book, don't just read the book, have a pen, have a highlighter, highlight the book, write it into a journal. One of the reasons why I have so much training content is because for 20 years almost, I've kept journals of the books that I've read and the courses that I've attended and the seminars that I've been to. So I have tons and tons and tons and tons of notes. So it locks it into my brain. Realize that the weakest ink is stronger than the strongest memory. The weakest ink is stronger than the strongest memory. So if you read a book, 10 years from now, you'll likely forget almost everything in the book. If you write it down, it's going to lock it into your brain more, just the act of writing it. And you'll have those notes to go back to and reference 10 years from now, 15, 20 years from now, whenever you want. If I'm ever struggling for content on doing live videos here, as an example, I can go back to my journals or read my notes and say, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. That's so true. Let me train on it. It becomes very easy. So it's an hour of input a day and an hour of output a day. So I'm doing a live video typically every day for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And then I'm also writing content. I'm writing captions for my Instagram. I'm writing information for a book. I'm outputting the information. If I'm honest with you, I need to do more output. Okay, I need to be more consistent with the hour a day on the output. Okay, so an hour of input, an hour of output. Now, how should you do output? Well, you could do live videos. Do you have someone in your life that you can take the information that you learned and then train them? Do you have children? You can train your children on the information that you're learning. So obviously, step one is learning the information. Two is writing it down so you have it forever. And then step three, if you really want to get that information locked in, train on it and help others with it. Now, the other thing that I'm always committed to doing is associating myself with other highly intelligent people, because your net worth is determined by your network. If you hang around with 9 broke friends, guess what? You're the 10th. If you hang around with 9 stupid friends, guess what? You're the 10th. If you hang around with 9 highly intelligent friends, guess what? You're the 10th. So make it a goal, make it a priority in your life to associate yourself with other highly intelligent people. And guess what? You're way more likely to become intelligent by that association, because you're going to get their output by hanging around with them. You're going to get the motivation of increasing your intelligence because of their intelligence. So these things are what I believe can increase your intelligence and allow you to be successful in many, many areas of your life, not just financial. I don't want you just to have a lot of money, because if you just have a lot of money, you'll realize that money doesn't make you happy, okay? It takes more than that. Money produces some pretty happy things. My lake house here is an example. I'm amazingly happy. If I only had a lake house, if I only had a Ferrari, if I only had a bunch of money, I wouldn't be very happy. But I have amazing relationships. I have amazing parenting relationship with my children. I have an amazing career. I mean, I have a lot of amazing things going on. So strive to be amazing in many, many different areas. Listen, I hope this added some value for you. If you feel like it can add some value to some others, hit the share button. Let me know if you did in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want some advanced training, hop over to leadwithmatt.com and you'll get some strategies on becoming a powerful leader in direct selling and being able to attract powerful leaders to you as well. Once again, thanks so much. Go make life an adventure.